Hi ladies, my name is Emily Davis. If we haven't met, it's probably because I'm just returning from having a baby, but I'm very excited to get to know all of you really soon. I am going to, over the course of the next few weeks, be talking about some mobility, strength, and stretching that you can be doing at home on your own or before sessions or even after sessions at the gym. So to start today, we are going to be talking at the base. We're going to be talking about our feet and our ankles. So if you're someone who continuously has problems down low feet and ankles, or you're interested in some different mobility, keep watching. Additionally, because everything starts at the bottom, if you're having knee pain, hip pain, shoulder pain, it might be beneficial for you to keep watching, because there might be some ways that if we fix things down at the bottom first and have a strong foundation and a good base, it can work its way up and help us with some other things. So the first thing that I want to talk about is our shoes. And I want to let you know that I'm not a doctor, I'm not a medical professional. These are just some advice from a trainer at your gym and maybe some suggestions that you might want to consider. If you have any further questions, make sure that you write them in the comments or stop me at the gym and let me know. So number one, most importantly, while we're at Blush, we want to make sure that we are wearing our Blush shoes. We're not wearing our shoes from the parking lot, and we are wearing shoes on the mat. Okay, not our sock feet. So one really popular option that a lot of people have are the Nobles. Okay, what we notice about the Noble is we have laces that we can tie up, and we have a solid flat bottom. These are going to be really great for days that we're lifting, which is almost every single day at Blush. So our Nobles are a really great option. They're pretty pricey though. So other choices we have in that regard are some Reebok trainers. Okay, so again, we're noticing a completely flat and a pretty hard sole. I'm currently wearing Under Armour trainers. I like the Under Armour and the Reebok trainers because they have a nice wide toe base. Nike, pretty much any brand is going to make a trainer shoe. So the best thing that you can do for yourself if you are experiencing foot, ankle, or hip pain is really take a look at the shoes that you're wearing and look for something that's advertised as a trainer shoe, training shoe. Okay, these are going to be great for our short bursts of cardio and running and our lifting. Now, if we're specifically having some other issues with our knees, we might want to look at more of a runner shoe, especially on those cardio days. So I have a pair of Brooks here. Hoka's are also a good choice. Santa might be bringing me some On Clouds in a couple weeks, so we'll try those out and see what we think. So what we want to be mindful of, this has a really squishy sole. It's not super soft, but it's a little bit thicker than the trainer, and there's a little bit more flexibility in the shoe. So this might be a great choice. When I first started Blush, my body wasn't ready for all the cardio that we were doing. I was having really severe knee pain in my trainers, and I switched to these and it went away. I didn't have to do anything else other than start at the foundation and change up my shoes. Some choices that we're not gonna wanna see, okay, are things that are meant more for fashion or style, specifically like these 270s, these Nike shoes. They come at a slope on the inside, so our heels are always elevated. We can never get a solid foundation. Again, another pair that wouldn't work at the gym. These are super soft. These are going to be terrible for keeping our ankles safe. Okay, be mindful of laces. We want to make sure that when we are actually lacing up our shoes, that we're tightening the shoe around our foot, not just there for decorative. Okay, again, this is so soft. These are great for walking in or wearing around. Okay, these are called Nike Prestos, but they're not going to be great for us in the gym, especially when we're lifting weight, especially on our floor. Our floor is designed to protect our body and protect our knees and our ankles, but we have to make sure that we're doing our part to properly equip ourselves to move forward. Now, if you're wearing one of these shoes that I personally haven't recommended, but it's working for you, that's great. And you feel You feel stable, you feel safe, you feel like you can do all of the things that are being asked and you're not having pain during or after your workout, then don't fix something that's not broken. But if you're even having upper body or knee pain or hip pain, hip discomfort, really consider looking at something different for your shoes. Staying on topic with our feet, I'm going to give you 3 different exercises and strength and mobility practices that you can do if you're having issues with your feet. So the first one is going to be ABC rotations. Next, we're going to use a golf ball. And third, we're going to think about really keeping our feet nice and wide. Let me explain. Okay, the first one that we said we're going to talk about are our ABC rotations. So these are really great to do before we put our shoes on. We want to be barefoot for these. I personally like to do them before I get out of bed in the morning. So just while I'm resting, working up to get out of bed, this is when I do my ABC rotations. You can do both feet at the same time or one at a time, but essentially you're going to write the alphabet with your foot, okay? So we want to leave out the knee and hip rotation, just working at that ankle and that beat. It's going to be really great to work our arch, get blood flowing down there, and get all those small muscles that are extremely important for our strong foundation working in our feet, okay? So great place to start. Next, we have our golf ball. You can use a golf ball or a lacrosse ball. If either of those are too hard, you could also use a tennis ball. But we're going to put the ball down on the floor, and you're just going to roll out that sore part. So I have pretty flat feet, low arches. So my arches get sore really often. So that's when I would use the ball. You can go between your toes. You can just settle on one spot, all over in the heel, things like that. Our last idea that we want to keep out for our feet is making sure that we have wide toes while we're lifting, okay? This is going to be especially important for any time we have weight or we're doing any type of movement other than cardio, is we want our toes nice and wide. So here comes my unpedicured feet, okay? We have 3 points in our foot. We have one under our big toe, one under our pinky toe, and one in the heel. We want to really have a good tripod planting and keeping our toes wide. Okay, if you're someone who, for example, has foot pain when we do calf raises, okay, really think about your toes being wide, digging into the ground, and doing your lifts and movements that way. Okay, next, let's move up the body a little bit. We're going to talk about our ankles. So once we have our feet right, we have our right equipment on down there, we can start worrying about the next part, our ankles. We are going to do 3 different things to help support our ankles. Number 1 that we can do is work on a flexion stretch. Number 2 is a banded squat. And number 3 is foam rolling. Okay, so, up first are flexions. So I like to do these with either my toe elevated or up against a wall. I'll show you both ways. So when I'm doing them with my toe elevated, I'll find a place on the rig, maybe even a dumbbell, not a barbell, and I'll put my toes up and I'm just leaning forward. I want to feel a good pull in the back of my ankle at my Achilles and a good pinch in the front of my ankle. So I'm doing this just to get my ankles nice and warmed up. If you're somebody your feet are chronically coming off the floor during our squats, this is something you need to work on. If you're also not getting to full depth, number 1 thing that we can do is help our ankles. Once we've helped our ankles, it's going to help our hips so that we can get really good squat depth and form. Okay, so this is how I would do this flexion stretch, starting it with my toe elevated. Additionally, you could do it against a wall. So just pushing against a wall, trying to get that same small angle between your shin and your foot would look similar to this, okay? And I'm not fighting to keep my heel on the ground. It's okay for it to come up because I want a lot of that flexion to be coming in the top of my ankle. Okay, the next way to support our ankles is doing a banded squat. So I'm going to take my band and loop it around a sturdy base like a rig or the dumbbell rack, and I'm going to put one ankle in at a time. Want to make sure that the band is at the front of my shin and get good tension in the band, and we're going to just do some squats. okay? So we can hold at the bottom. We just want to make sure that we're feeling good pull, good tension on that ankle, okay? So I would suggest up to a minute of squats there. We're not fighting for reps, we're fighting for a good feeling, and then switch to the other side. Once we feel good like that, we could go ahead and just hold in a good squat all the way down in a bottom, chest up, feet on the floor, really working on fighting for that good ankle position and a good feeling in our ankles. Okay, so my last suggestion for working on our feet and our ankles is to use the foam roller. Study shows that just 1 minute of foam rolling, it can drastically impact our squat form, help relieve our foot and our ankle pain. And same goes for any muscle that, we're foam rolling or that we're having issues with. So to foam roll, we're gonna go ahead and put it on the back side of our foot. We can do either both feet at the same time or one at a time. Want to have that foot in good flexion. Our toes are up, one at a time, and we're just rolling this Achilles and working on our calf. A little bit up the calf can help release our ankle, okay? So we can either cross if we need to get good pressure there and we're rolling, or we can do one at a time, or we could put both on the foam roller at the same time and we're moving back and forth, okay? When we find a sticky spot, is what I like to call them, something that doesn't feel the same or as good as the rest of the body part we're working on, you can hang out there. You can put extra pressure there and really help it release, okay? So it doesn't have to take forever. You can do it again, like I said, just for a minute, but be intentional with that minute and really work deep into that part. Okay, ladies, I hope that you got something out of that. I hope that you have just a few extra tools in your back pocket. I want to reemphasize that I'm not a medical professional. If you're having severe pain or you have issues with your feet, ankles, knees, anything, talk to your doctor. But in the meantime, maybe try some of these tips. I'm in no way suggesting you need to run out and buy new shoes to be successful at Blush or in any fitness setting. Just be really mindful of what you're doing. Do your research, ask me and your trainer questions, and we're happy to help.